Rolex is the famous watch brand we know today. It is a symbol of prestige and status. But did you know how this brand was initially started by a young man named Hans Wilsdorf? Early life. Born on March 22, 1881, Hans was the middle child born to a wealthy middle-class family. His parents owned an ironmonger, and because of that, he lived his life comfortably until he was 12 years old. Both of his parents died, leaving Hans and his siblings orphans and put under the care of their aunt and uncle. They sent the kids to a boarding school in hopes of getting a better education, but Hans was unable to adjust properly and had difficulties. So, he diverted his attention to reading and writing, which made him exceptionally efficient in English. After years of enduring boarding school, Hans graduated when he was 19 and decided to hit the road. The journey. He moved to La Chaux-de-Fonds in Switzerland in search of a better life. Back then, La Chaux-de-Fonds was a prominent watch-producing location, making it the ideal place to gain the experience Hans needed for his very own business. He got a job with a growing watch company called Kuno Cortin. He was hired because of his English reading and writing skills to communicate with the correspondents from the British Empire and America. It was there that Hans became fascinated with the accuracy of watches and made it his lifelong mission to make his very own watchmaking company. Wilsdorf and Davis. By the age of 24, Hans moved to London, where he found a partner for his business. It was his brother-in-law, Alfred Davis, and together they came up with the company Wilsdorf and Davis in 1905. When they initially formed their partnership, they focused on pocket watches because wristwatches were less commonly used. However, Hans believed it was time to change because he thought pocket watches were impractical. He wanted to manufacture wristwatches that did not only look aesthetically pleasing, but were also highly accurate. Wilsdorf's goal was to change the perception of wristwatches from mere accessories for women to functional timepieces for both men and women. In pursuit of this vision, the duo slightly shifted their focus to investing in the research and development of wristwatches so they are reliable and durable. They went after perfection and created a timepiece that could withstand the everyday grind, which meant enduring dust, moisture, and varying fluctuations throughout the day. The name Rolex. In 1905, the first ever Rolex was created, and the company was trademarked in Switzerland. Hans decided the name Rolex would be suitable since it is short, easier to pronounce, and easy to remember. Rolex had gained fame and recognition due to the quality and reliability of its wristwatches. By 1910, Hans took the company to Geneva, Switzerland, because Geneva was known for its watchmaking heritage. Over there, the company continued to flourish and make advancements. They kept on refining and innovating, which led to the creation of the first waterproof wristwatch, the Rolex Oyster, which was released in 1926. Rolex made significant advancements during World War I. The wristwatches by Rolex were a favorite among the soldiers due to their practicality and convenience. Seeing this as an opportunity, Rolex started supplying its wristwatches to the British military during the war, and British officers particularly favored them. These watches were highly valued due to their precision and durability. It made Rolex watches an essential tool to coordinate military operations and synchronize attack maneuvers. Marketing genius. First waterproof watch. By 1926, the Rolex Oyster made its way to the market, and while this was not particularly made during the war, it was a result of the feedback and experience Rolex had around that time period. The soldiers had to go through intense moisture while in the trenches during the war. This could compromise the watch's accuracy. Hence, Oyster was created. The world's first ever waterproof wristwatch was possible due to the airtight seal that keeps the watch safe from dust, moisture, and shocks. Because of its reliability and resilience, the Oyster was in high demand amongst the military. In 1927, this watch gained international recognition when Mercedes Glissette, a British swimmer, tried swimming across the English Channel while wearing a Rolex Oyster. It further solidified the brand's reputation for producing durable and dependable timepieces. Series of marketing ideas. Now came the time to make the brand known and apply new marketing strategies, since Hans realized the importance of marketing his brand and ensured it was well known. There were advertisements that would usually show elegant and aspirational imagery, highlighting the watch's craftsmanship, attention to detail, and luxurious appeal. Wilsdorf realized the importance of targeting his audience and would need to know how to reach a specific audience. He soon figured it out and started targeting wristwatches for women. Hans realized that wristwatches were only seen as something for men during that time, so he saw his opportunity and decided to tap into the women's market. He labeled it as a wristwatch that can be fashionable and functional for women, and he aimed to position Rolex as a desirable brand for female customers. To make this possible, he developed a similar design to men's watches but incorporated elegant designs, smaller case sizes, and stylish elements into Rolex women's watches. It was a combination of both elegance and the brand's hallmark precision and reliability. By doing so, Wilsdorf successfully transformed the perception of wristwatches as a male-centric item and introduced them as a fashionable accessory for women. Ultimately, Hans formed partnerships with influential figures and prestigious events and secured endorsements from notable individuals in various fields like sports. Because of this, it wasn't long before Rolex became the official timekeeper of sporting events like endurance races, golf championships, and tennis tournaments. Hans made sure Rolex had paid good attention to detail and design. His commitment to precision and craftsmanship begins by selecting the highest quality materials. It could be anything from the cases to the dials or any other part of the watch. Quality is never compromised. The materials were carefully chosen by their level of durability, aesthetic appeal, and ability to take on everyday wear and tear. The staff was no exception either. The brand would employ and train very highly watchmakers and technicians who would assemble and finish each watch by hand, ensuring every detail is perfectly executed. After each phase, the watch undergoes rigorous testing to meet the strict standards of quality laid out by the company. Wilsdorf Foundation. Later on, in 1945, Hans Wilsdorf founded a private charitable organization and called it the Wilsdorf Foundation. This foundation had the sole purpose of being a part of the well-being of society and promoting advancements in fields such as science, medicine, education, and the arts. The foundation funds projects and organizations aligning with its philanthropic objectives. The foundation was responsible for giving out grants, scholarships, and donations to support research, education, cultural institutions, and initiatives that improve the quality of life for individuals and communities, with their main objective being preserving and promoting their watchmaking heritage. The foundation has worked on and contributed to projects like restoring historical timepieces and establishing watchmaking schools and training programs. While the same man Hans Wilsdorf founded the organization, it worked independently from his watchmaking business. The Quartz Era. Then, in the 70s, came the Quartz Era that changed the watch market forever. During that time, there was a rapid production and increase in popularity for a quartz watch that proved fatal for Rolex and other watch manufacturing companies. These watches were different from traditional mechanical watches in many ways. Instead of relying on mechanical movements, quartz watches use a battery-powered quartz crystal oscillator to regulate timekeeping. The quartz crystal vibrates precisely when an electric current is applied to it, ensuring its users get highly accurate times. Furthermore, when these watches hit the market, they were far more accurate and reliable and came with half the cost of the original wristwatch. It caused a significant disruption in the watch market, and many famous watch brands had to face decreased demand and losses. These Japanese watches flooded the market with accurate timekeeping, ease of maintenance, and lower costs. Interesting facts. Rolexes are handmade. Even though Rolex relies on the latest high-tech machinery in its production processes, many parts of the Rolex watches are still made and assembled by hand. These experienced watchmakers work closely on the delicate components, ensuring precision and attention to detail. This combination of traditional craftsmanship and modern techniques contributes to Rolex watches' exceptional quality and reliability. Rolex went even further with their innovation and came up with the 904L stainless steel watch in 1980, setting them apart from other watch brands that were using the standard 316L stainless steel. Rolex had the upper hand with its highly corrosive-resistant alloy, making it far more resilient to harsh environments, such as salt water or chemical exposure. It made sure Rolex stayed at the top when it came to making durable quality watches. Rolex makes all gold in-house. The company gained complete control of the quality and composition of the gold used in its watches in 2009 by becoming one of the few watch manufacturers with their own foundry to produce its gold alloys. They create their unique proprietary blends of yellow, white, and rose gold, ensuring that their timepieces exhibit the distinct shades and characteristics associated with the Rolex brand. By now, we know Rolex likes to stand out and do things differently, and they convey this in a subtle manner. It is through their use of 4 instead of 4 on their Roman numeral dials. By using 4, Rolex achieves a balanced visual appearance, creating a mirrored effect when paired with the 8 on the opposite side of the dial. This preference for symmetry aligns with Rolex's meticulous attention to design detail and its commitment to creating visually stunning timepieces. How it shaped Rolex as the luxury brand we know today. Despite these challenging times, Rolex stayed true to its roots by staying committed to its mechanical expertise. During this time to tackle the situation, many watch companies started shifting their focus to quartz technology. Rolex kept its stance and stayed true to its heritage of mechanical watchmaking. By continuing to produce and refine its mechanical designs and movements, Rolex reinforced its reputation as a brand dedicated to traditional craftsmanship, precision, and technical excellence. This decision allowed Rolex to stand out from the rest and hold its own in a market flooded with quartz watches. It positioned the brand as a luxury watchmaker that upheld the artistry and complexity of mechanical timepieces. This decision by Rolex proved to be the best decision they have ever made. The commitment by Rolex during this era not only kept the brand's rich heritage preserved, but also started to appeal to enthusiasts and collectors who valued the intricate mechanisms and craftsmanship of mechanical timepieces. Through research and development, Rolex continued to increase its precision and accuracy. It showed everyone in the market the power of innovation and introduced the perpetual rotor, revolutionizing self-winding mechanisms and automatic watches. What do you think about Rolex? Let us know in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed today's video, please leave us a thumbs up, and remember to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon to always stay up to date with the most exciting content as soon as it's uploaded. Thanks for watching. See you again soon in another video.